Hey guys, this is the preparation video for E4. I'm doing this now even though I haven't finished E3 because honestly it's over halfway through the event and I'm really stubbornly trying to farm for Akizuki. I probably won't get onto this map realistically the way it's going, so I'm going to talk about it now just to go through it because I said I would. So anyways, this is another combined fleet map. It's part of the extra operations and it's pretty big because the main feature isn't really what you're getting from this map, it's what you can get from this map. So, if you aren't aware, because I presume most people would have checked through by now, you can get a lot of ship drops from this map. So, yeah, you'll be farming here for a while too, but you can actually finish farming on E3, which I'm really trying hard to do. So, we're going to just look at some of these things. You get to use your big fleets again. This is the only map you'll be using a big fleet. So, surface task force, battleships, and carrier task force or carriers. But seems like further down there's something about carrier task force that makes them a little less desirable, but that's only a percentage chance that'll happen. Otherwise, you can do a bit of extra routing, like the surface task force. Having the Italian ships, pick any Italian ship. I think at this one point this was all free, but apparently only one is needed to branch you guaranteed H to J, otherwise you'll random from H to I or J. And well, carrier task force, they tell you to take a trading cruiser and hire Sui, that's still fleet oiler, to guarantee going one way. And then there's a LOS check for the boss node. That's low, so if you have any kind of big ships, which you should, that LOS check shouldn't be a problem at all. But anyways, actually let's not talk about the fleet compositions too much, but there's a lot of these and a lot of them are specifically for farming, so depending on what you need, you should probably check through this and just work out where you're headed. But we'll talk about the boss a little bit here, because that's actually kind of different. You're beating up a submarine this time. It's a submarine princess. And the fleet itself, if we go down to wherever the fleets are, because there's so much information on this page now. Let's look at hard mode and go down to where the boss is. Where the boss is right here. You'll see that the fleet is actually a combined submarine with other surface fleets. Basically this means that no matter what kind of fleet you're bringing in for the boss, like specifically for the boss, you'll need some kind of mixed ability to attack submarines and to attack surface ships. Your main concern probably is the fact that there is carrier power possibly on the boss. It's not guaranteed, but there can be carrier power, and well, you need to blow up a submarine. So, especially on the last, actually, blowing up a submarine might be easier on the last run if you can somehow avoid the big ships, but that's besides the point. You need to blow up a submarine, so you need a lot of anti-sub warfare equipment to go through this map, which is actually quite long. Is J a dead-end node? I don't actually know about that. I know M is a dead-end node, that's obvious. I think J is a dead-end node. So that shouldn't be a problem. What else to talk about here? Most of the information is on farming, so I'm trying not to go through it too much. But okay, let's have a look at a bit of this. Anti-sub warfare. So, like I was highlighting just now, you need to do anti-sub damage to kill a sub. And without it, you're kinda screwed. Honestly, based on the information, your main fleet is weaker at anti-sub compared to your escort fleet. Your escort fleet's all your small ships, remember? And chances are it's going to be loaded with destroyers and cruisers in this map. Apparently, you can also line them up with your training cruisers, because escort fleets, you can only have a single light cruiser. So, based on how anti-sub warfare equipment works, 4-slot ships with fully slotted anti-sub warfare does more damage than a 3-slotted one, even though their anti-sub stat is higher. So basically what they're trying to say is, put in a 4-slot light cruiser as your light cruiser you need in your escort fleet, and then chuck in training cruisers because you don't get limited on them and they have 4 slots. Probably a bit crazy, especially with Kashima, since we would have just got her last map. I don't think her level will be that high. And well, fact is, their stats are kind of low. Anyways, so right, fighting the boss, your goal is your main fleet should be the one blowing up the battleship, princess, and the carrier. I think it was like a wool class. Was it a wool class? Was it one of the blue flame stuff around it? Is it? Yeah, the blue flamey stuff around it. What is this? Yeah, wall class. You don't really want to deal with that too much. Your surface, preferably use a surface fleet for the boss, because you need to blow. Basically, your surface fleet has to wipe out the 3 small ships, or the 3 surface ships, so that one, your escort fleet doesn't get bombarded by them, especially in the last run where you have a battleship princess and a carrier. You do not want your escort fleet bombarded by that because they have to focus all their shots on blowing up the sub. On another note, there's an interesting thing here somewhere about, let's see if I can find it. This is the most interesting thing I think is for this map. Your escort fleet's night battle, going into night battle from day battle, has regular anti-sub warfare damage. Not like in standard maps. I'm sure everyone's experienced 1.5 where they're just like, I need to kill that sub with 3 health left, let me just go night battle, and you miss every shot. Not like training where you go into night battle, they still blow up your sub somehow. So right, you can go into night battle, but you really need to clean out the other ships. You know, I don't think it's a problem because submarines still draw attacks from any ship that can attack them, even in the night battle. Okay, so that'll be all for the boss. Let's talk about something else now. The drops in this map are probably the most appealing thing about here, if you can get to this map without stubbornly going for Akitsuki like I am. There are a lot of ships. Let's see. Alright, so basically anything that's event only, apparently you can get from here that's really worth it. So, Akizumaru, large ship construction, always welcome more Daihatsus. Probably wants another helicopter as well, so she's okay. Graf Zeppelin, the Neo carrier, the German carrier that can attack during night battles. She's on the boss, and she's only dropped from the boss and not as a reward from anything. Couple of the Yugumo class destroyers. Labeshio, you managed to miss her somehow. I can't remember which map you got her actually from the last event, but if you don't have her, you can get her as well, like M. On that note, M is one of these DDM nodes. The main thing you'll be looking from that node is actually Prinz. If you don't know, it's the German heavy cruiser that is, how should I say it, ridiculously OP. She is probably stronger than most of your heavy cruisers, and she doesn't even have a secondary model, so she's there. And there's also Roma, if you don't have her like me. Get her on the same node as Prinz, or you could get her hard mode, apparently on the boss. And then there's U511, which is probably what I was going to try and aim for after I got Akizuki, which I still don't have. Still kind of salty that I've gone through 5 days of continuous sorties. That's just my rant. So, only other important note apart from really looking at the boss and, well, however way you want to branch through this map is M node. So we're going to look at M node a little bit. M node is a dead end node, so once you hit it, you'll be finishing your sortie, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But look at this, it's Anchorage Water Demon 2 strong. Not the best thing, and you're also dealing with PT impacts. To get anyone from M node that's worth the trouble, you need to get a S level win. So basically you need Type 3 shells, probably all load up on your main fleet, blow this thing up somehow, and then you need to have a lot of, you probably have to go to night battle to blow the PT impacts up, honestly, because only small ships can really blow these things up. And apparently, some of the fleet compositions does not drop Prinz. I think it's, yeah, here. So on easy mode, Let's see, line ahead, final. Let me just check these easy. The information's probably up the top, but I'm just gonna look at this, okay. Is that the only two formations there are? I actually no idea what they're talking about. Right, so let's have a look at what they're talking about here. Okay, they had to be line ahead, is it? Required to face patterns at M node with the enemy fleets are in line ahead formation and obtain an S rank victory at easy, and they will drop prints. But basically they're trying to say is blow up the boss until you get to the last bit of health, and then fight with the final form consistently. On easy mode, I don't think it should be that difficult. You're dealing with 3 small fry. The PT impacts might cause a problem, but otherwise I think that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So and I think that's most of what's worth talking about here. What's this? Pattern drop rate for some ships. Well, this is just statistics. That's not really that interesting. Yeah, I think that should be all that's worth noting for E4, and yeah, so if you want to get on this map, you'll probably be farming one hell of a lot, because there's a lot of stuff to get from this map. But you clear it, you'll be on to E5, so next video will be E5, I'll get that out in a bit. So, happy event hunting!